Action. Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody watching this video, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I go by the name of Holybmsani, and first of all, let me take this opportunity to appreciate all of you who have shown love for our previous video. If you are yet to watch this video, please go back to the video because each and every episode is linked to each other. So today I'm here to share with you the cost of campus politics. How much do we really spend for this type of elections? So campus politics is, I look at it much more of an MCA vying for a particular ward, because the amount of money we spend for campus politics is equal to that amount of money maybe an MCA would want to spend vying for that position in his or her ward. So campus politics begins at the community levels, as I had mentioned earlier on our previous video, where you need to get the endorsement of your community. Now, to get the endorsement of your community, you need the support and the backup of the community executives. This means spending. You need to buy community meetings, some drinks. You need to call this a community executive to some very secretive meetings, and that will cost you something to do with 2,000 to 5,000 shillings. Only that process only. Also, from my community, for example, where I am studying at Technical University of Mombasa, we have a community from the Luo that is called Kasatung Kanyanam Kanyanam Students of Technical University of Mombasa Association. And this kind of association, there's a structure of 8 executives. Now, each and every executive, you have to get a support of at least 5 executives from your community. To get this support, you need to at least take 5 to lunch, 5 to dinner, 5 to any other way. You have to spend in any way possible to ensure that you get the support of these executives. Now, if you have a bigger support of the community or the people from that community, you don't really need some upper hand from the executive, because they will have no choice for you to be part of the top 3 of that list. But if you are just starting and there is no bigger backup of that community, then you will have to spend so much for you to get the support of these executives. And that one gives us something to do with 5,000 shillings already, just a thought of vying, and you start with your community. Now, from your community, maybe you have gotten the endorsement, and now you want to be part of Alliance. Now, Alliance just came in the year 2018 for Technical University of Mombasa, from the bill that was introduced in the parliament. But if we go back to Duale also introduced the delegate system. But back then, there was not so much. After community endorsement, you just went to the ballot directly without the alliance system. So with the introduction of alliance system, they are owners of the alliance. We call them strategists and tables. Now, if you are known, people will just approach you easily for you to be part of alliance. Somehow it will be free. But if you are looking for an alliance, we have something called commitment fee in that alliance. A commitment fee of an alliance, the least that you will pay is 20,000 shillings for you to sign to be part of any alliance. It doesn't matter of your position, whether you are vying for president, whether you will be settled for academics, whether you will go for disability or any other position, then that position will be, irrespective of the position, the commitment fee on the alliance level is 20,000. Now, even before the alliance level, there's in between. For you to even be part of an alliance, you have to prove your capability, and that's where you have to spend for community endorsement. Now, it means that you have a community backup. Also, you have to sell your brand. It means you have to pay for bloggers, you have to pay for goons, you have to pay for anyone. You have to print t-shirts just for your personal branding, and this one also is something to do with at least 30,000 shillings. So already we are heading to 100, and you have not yet gotten any alliance. Now, after you spend 20,000 to sign an alliance, this is where now everything starts, because after the contribution of the commitment fee, you now have equal contribution to any activity of that alliance. That is inclusive of the launching, in launching, it is very much expensive, because for launching of an alliance, you need cars, you need crowd. Crowd doesn't just come like that. This crowd needs either wisdom, that is alcohol, drinks for ladies who don't take alcohol, you need vuvuzelas, you need you need so many things. It's like a rally, like, oh, let's say for example a politician wants to hold a rally in a certain area. There's some expenses that he or she has to incur. That is the same thing that happens in campus politics. For the launch of that particular alliance, you people will have a budget of at least ile tu ya, like, for the least amount that you will have to get out with is 200,000. Now 200,000, this amount is not at the president is the one distributing this money. This is amount that is distributed equally among the 8 members of that alliance. So that gives us something to 200,000 divided by 8 of you. Each of you will have to pay at least 25,000 minimum for the alliance to be launched. Now, despite the launch of alliance, you have several activities like the alliance meetings, elders meetings, strategist meetings. These meetings doesn't happen in the houses. They happen in hotels. They happen in restaurants. They happen in a particular area, and the owner needs to be paid for these meetings to happen. If you don't pay, at least you have to take a drink or eat some foods. These are paid by the people vying in that particular alliance. So already there's some money that also you have to just keep up with yourself in your pocket, that in case of any meeting that can be called, and you never know when these meetings will be called. It is just an impromptu meeting that will let us meet at, for example, let us meet at City Blue. There are any expenses that will be incurred during that time in that hotel, then you are the one who are going to pay for that money. So that's a lot of money. Also, for the alliance period, you also need to pay for the delegates. Now, delegates, as I mentioned in the previous video, these are people who represent a particular department. They are people who are being voted for by the students for them to vote for you. Now, for an alliance, you need at most 60 delegates, maximum 100 delegates. These delegates, for them to win in their department, they need bloggers, they need posters, they need support, they need to call for at least some small meetings, and these are finances that are done by you who is vying for that position. For you to get all this in order, you also need at most 20,000 aside for your delegates, so that they get their posters, they get their drinks for their meetings, they get their bloggers, and also for them to be very well occupied to make calls to their colleagues so that they can vote for them. So after that, there are those delegates who fails to win, and there are those who wins. After spending for these delegates, you need now to keep those who have won somewhere safe, and that is where we call a cottage. Now for cottage, it goes a minimum 8,000 per day, 10,000 per day. Some big cottages cost as at most 20,000 Kenya shillings. So there now you also need some 20,000, and this one is, it means if you're going to be there for 8 days or for the days until the election day, each and every executive has to contribute at least 10,000 shillings for these delegates to stay, eat, drink, and bath, and do everything in that cottage comfortably without them complaining until the election day. So after spending for these delegates, now it's the election day. Remember, these delegates needs to be nominated. For them to be nominated, you need to have a nomination fee. For delegates, it's 1,000. For you, the least position is 12,000, and the least position, sorry, is 8,000 for those vying for other positions. And for SG and president, is something to do between 12,000 and 15,000 shillings. So that is already a big amount for just for the nominations. And there are those who are also to be appealed. There are also that amount that you are supposed to pay in case you are unsuccessful and you have not cleared your fee. You have to go and clear your fee. For you to vie, you have to get 100% school fee clearance. So imagine you have paid your nomination fee of at least 8,000 and 15,000 shillings, and now you have also to pay for the you have also to clear your fee. So it doesn't matter, you have ground, you have people, your alliance has a lot of support. If you have not yet cleared your fee, you will not be cleared by UEC, and it means you have to pay for that fees first. And in any case, any delegate also has a pending fee balance, you will also have to pay for that fee if you believe that this delegate is that one vote that will bring a difference for your alliance. You have to see on how this delegate will be cleared, either through paying that school fees or having a very good conversation with the electoral board. And you know what I mean by a very good conversation with the electoral board. So after paying for your nominations, you have paid for your delegates, you have paid for your executive alliance, you have done your launching. Now it's the election day. For election day, you need your security. You need at most 20 security. These are people who are there to support your delegates to ensure they win. They are there to protect the votes, and they are there to riot or make noise in case there is any irregularity that may be occurring in any department. Despite these securities, you also need agents. You also need agents. We have chief agents and agents. These agents also need lunch, and they also need to be paid for their representation in these various departments. After election have been announced, and luckily, maybe unluckily, or let's start with luckily. Luckily, you have won. Now you have no pressure of this of any amount that you are going to spend. But in case you have lost, and if you have watched the episode 2, you know that I relate. In case you have lost, then you have gone a loss of almost 200,000 shillings as an individual for all the spendings that you have done. So these are things that we can change. You don't really have to spend so much for campus politics. For me, I believe that we can change by first checking on the community levels. These tribal endorsements is something that we can check on how we can we can control it in a way that if you have your own ground, if you believe that you can deliver, and you believe that you are the best person who can be part of an alliance or part of a government, then you don't have to follow so much like something community nomination fees. We don't need that money. Something to do with endorsement fee, we don't need that money. Something to do with drinks and everything, and those community aspirants meetings, these are the areas that we can try to reduce to ensure that at least these amounts are reduced. Also, looking at if we look at that executive levels or community levels, these are things that can reduce our expenditure to be something very low. So that is something that I will urge any aspiring politician or anyone who wants to be part of campus politics. You have to take control of your community, or you have to be an active member of your community to ensure that the process of endorsements are not in a way that it makes that process so expensive, to reduce your future expenses. Also, in terms of alliances, I don't believe on this issue of commitment fee. You remember this, each and everyone is a comrade. They are trying to make ends meet, and they come to your strategic table, or they come to you, an alliance you are trying to form. You're already requesting for this person to release 20,000 nomination fee. This is something can also correct, as I believe you have nomination fee that you have to pay as an aspirant. That one now we cannot talk about it. It is part of the constitution. That one is okay. Now another issue of clearing your fee, that one is fine, you can spend on it. But the issue, if we can reduce, or we can eliminate nomination fee, or alliance nomination fee. Alliance nomination fee, for you to join an alliance, you have to pay a particular amount of money. Then that one, we can at least reduce our expenditure for a person who is vying. So that one is what also we can check on. That's all for the video of today. I want to appreciate each and every one of you for the big support, and this is just the beginning of greatness that is coming on this channel. Please ensure you subscribe, like, comment, and also share your thoughts on today's video. Thank you very much. I love you. Don't forget to subscribe.